Hi, what is the total cost of doing ACCA in 2025? Now, in today's video, we're going to discuss what is the total cost. And I know there has been so many videos around what's the cost. Someone says it's 1 lakh rupees, someone says it's 5 lakh rupees, someone says 3 lakh rupees. So I thought I will just cover ACCA cost in detail. Right, but before we do that, like always, thank you so much for all your love, support, comment. I truly appreciate it. If this is the first time you've come to my channel, can I request you to please hit the like button, the subscribe button and the bell icon. I promise you I will only do videos which are helpful in your ACCA journey as well as your finance and accounting career as well, because I made a resolution to myself that this year I will also support students not just who are ACCAs but also who want to make a career in finance and accounting, right? So yeah, let's move on talking about ACCA cost. Now, first things first, you need to understand that ACCA cost needs to be split into two things. One is ACCA body fees and then there is ACCA tuition fees. So we will discuss first ACCA body fees because that's going to be the same for all the ACCA students. That's not going to change, right? So ACCA costs, which is the body fees, first thing you will have a registration cost, right? The registration cost is about 30 pounds, okay? Then you have an annual subscription. Now, annual subscription is a cost that you pay for being a ACCA student of a ACCA body, right? So you're a part of the body. Now, that's going to be paid until you are an ACCA student. So if you complete ACCA in 1 year, you pay 122 only. But if you are an ACCA student for 2 years, then you paid for 2 years and henceforth, right? So that's your annual subscription. Then comes your ACCA exam fees. Now, ACCA exam fees is where you are going to pay for the knowledge level papers. Now, depending on whether you're doing it remotely, then you pay some 130, 120 odd pounds to the British Council. But let's say if you do at some of the approved centers, like FPA is one of the approved CBE centers, then you pay about 11,000, 12,000 depending on knowledge level papers, or you're doing a law paper, which is, by the way, also same as your knowledge level on demand exams, right? So the range is anywhere between 11 to 13,000 is what you pay for the first 4 papers, right? Then comes your skill level papers, where the exam fees is 129 pounds. Okay, so for the remaining 5 papers, because like I said, law, while it's a skill paper, but you can still do it from home and from your approved centers as well, right? But the skill level exams, which are done every quarter, and anyone who's trying to figure out what is knowledge level, skill level, I've made a separate video on why ACCA in 2025. It has got everything about the course, right? So do have a look. So those skill level exams are 129 pounds each. So that's your 5 papers. Then comes your professional level. The professional level, if you remember, there are 4 papers that you got to give. The first 2 papers, in which SBL is at 227 pounds, right? So that's a slightly expensive. And again, I've talked about it. Why it is expensive is because it's a IM style case study based paper. So yeah, it's you know, it has got that magic in there, right? So that's why they charge a little over there. But the SBR paper, which is the next one, is a 162 pounds, and the same is the cost for the remaining 2, right? So at P level, 3 papers, 162 pounds, and then there is 227 for your SBL paper. So if you look at the total cost of registration, of annual subscription for, let's say, 3 years, and then the exam fees for all the 13 papers, the cost, if I convert it into Indian rupees, which is, let's say, a pound is 103, 4 or something like that, right? It comes to around 2 lakh rupees, 2,05,000 rupees, right? So that is your standard ACCA cost. Now, the reason why I say standard is because it is quite possible that you may be eligible for exemptions, right? And again, I've spoken about this, that, you know, there is a very high possibility that you may be eligible for 5 paper exemptions, right? And you don't have to pay for those exam fees, and you don't have to then wait for 3 years to complete your ACCA, right? So your cost comes down phenomenally, right? So instead of let's say paying for the 5 papers, if you register through a learning provider like us, FPA, right, we are a platinum approved learning partner, we will be able to discount your exam fees almost 70 odd percentage, right? So instead of paying 5 into, let's say 13,000, right, considering the first 4 papers and the tax paper, right, which is because you get up to 5 paper exemptions, right? So instead of paying 70 or 1,000, you only pay 17,000 rupees, right? So if you take the exemptions, you are able to save the cost there. Now again, a disclaimer, I am not a big fan of exemptions, but yes, I understand that it reduces the cost, it reduces the time it's taken, right? So as long as you take the exemptions but still able to cover the gap of the knowledge that is going to result in, as long as you do that, then there's not a big problem, right? So you can see that if you are someone who's taking exemptions and come through someone like us, you will be able to save a lot of money there, right? So that that cost of 2 lakh rupees then comes down to maybe 120, 150, depending on how many exemptions you get. So that's your ACCA body costs, okay? Now coming to tuition fees. Now tuition fees can depend on several factors, whether you're offline, whether you are online, whether you are recorded, whether you are taking lectures in the heart of Mumbai, like FPA has offline centers in Borivali, Thane, Cherny Road, right? So obviously you understand that the rentals are fairly high, right? So obviously there is going to be slightly higher cost for the offline fees. However, if you're going for live online, you're going for pre-recorded, right, the fees is significantly lower, right? So therefore, if you are someone who wants to do ACCA, I can assure you, at least at FPA, we will be able to bring down your cost significantly if that is what you want, right? We can take the exemptions, we can give you the best possible lectures, because for example, the lecture recordings for some of the papers are done by myself, and I have been teaching ACCA for over 10 years, right? So we can get you the best lectures, we can get you the top of the line LMS, which is learning management systems. You will have the access to all the lectures, all the mocks, all the exam preparation lectures we do, everything that is there to make sure that you crack ACCA, right? So coming back, total cost can be as low as 1.5 lakh, 2 lakh rupees, depending on how many exemptions you get, or it can be as high as 4.5, 5 lakh as well. Yeah, if you do everything, you do all the 13 papers, and you do offline, etc., you know, the cost can come to around 4.5 lakhs as well. But look, cost is very student specific. Therefore, if you still have any doubts, if you still have any confusion, why don't you drop me a WhatsApp? I will provide my link over there. Do reach out to me, and I will make sure that you get all the required support in the overall ACCA registration, right? So on that note, thank you so much for sticking around. And if you have your friends and family, why don't you share this video with them? Maybe you can help make their career as well, right? So thank you so much, and all the very best. Bye bye.